All right, Bob. Back in episode 200, we talked about some foods and supplements that are targeted around women and their menstrual cycle and kind of orienting perhaps specific ingredients or specific compounds to work with a woman's cycle. And now we wanted to do a little bit of a part two, although a focus here on more of the supplementation for we'll kind of phrase it as our menopausal listeners or those who are seeing supplements that maybe are targeted towards, in this case, women in midlife and beyond. Things for our listeners just to keep eyes on when they're hearing and seeing different products come on the market.
Yeah, Dee, this is such a noisy category right now. I feel like there are it seems like there's like a million of these supplements targeted to females in perimenopause. Like I hear from some of my clients, it's so confusing because they're like, I don't know what to believe. I don't know what to do with this. Like even like the basic things like creatine, powder, capsule, gummies now. Like it's just like it's blowing up right now. So I'm super excited to discuss this and, give a little bit of content and maybe even context to our female listeners out there because there's a lot of things that are promising like symptom relief, right? Like supplements for symptom relief. So maybe it's gut, maybe it's hormone balancing, maybe it's skin, hair, nails, like, you know what I mean? And some of them actually incorporate all of the above. Right. Which is crazy to me because I just don't feel good about that. Like if you're trying to address 10 different symptoms with one gummy, one pill, one capsule, one whatever, I'm not quite sure about that, Dee.
It sounds good though, right? And
Oh,
it
it
reminds
does.
me when I was growing up, like way back in the day, I got it, Bob, way back.
Yeah. Thank you. Check.
In the fat loss era where there were all those supplements coming out, like the magic pill, it really
Oh,
sounded
yeah.
so promising. And I
Yeah.
remember my aunt and my grandmother, like, trying a couple different things. And it was supposed to be the solution in a
Mhm.
pill or powder. This seems 10x now, where you've got these combination supplements that really are, like you just mentioned, trying to target so many aspects of women's health all in one supplement.
Let's bring it back and just kind of lay the land right now. Like, let's really get into just the basic, like, why are we even talking about this deal? Like, why does this matter? Supplements for the menopausal female in your mind versus just the food, which we covered in episode 200, right?
I think part of that is bringing awareness to this fact. What do we need to pay attention to when we're seeing supplements in particular? Because there can be safety concerns. I know there's this phrasing like supplements aren't regulated. They're kind of regulated, but not until way after the fact when there's problems with supplements. So essentially companies can put anything into a supplement form. And how do you know as a consumer if this is a product that will work for you, the quality of those ingredients? What about the dosing? How do you know that this is something that is safe and efficacious for you? So I think that's a big part of it, let alone like discerning, is this a smart option? Is this worth your coins to purchase and make this investment?
As you were saying that, I was thinking about, when we work with supplements for either collegiate or professional elite athletes who get drug tested, right? What we do is recommend supplements that are third-party certified and tested, right?
Yeah.
So there are a few of them out there, but we usually go to like NSF certified for sport or Informed Sport certified. Those are usually the top two that we look at. I'm just wondering in your mind, from your perspective, because I could probably take a shot in the dark and say none of the supplements that we're talking about for the menopausal female are third-party certified, at least by those organizations. But if I'm wrong, please correct me. But also, do you feel like, because you were talking about safety and quality and dosages and, what's in the bottle, is it really in the bottle? Do you feel like there's a way, I don't even know how to say this. Like, is there a structure where females can actually trust these supplements that they're seeing thrown at them for menopausal symptoms? And trust meaning, is what's in the bottle in the bottle? Like, what's going on here? Is it safe for me to take?
Honestly, of all of the companies I've looked at, Bob, there were none that I found that had those same certifications. There is one company that on their website said they have applied for NSF certification, but it's
Okay.
not there yet.
Right.
I think, there's the GMP stamp or
Mm-hmm.
certification. I mean,
Yep.
that maybe gives you a little more
A little bit.
assurance.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of questionable formulations.
Yeah. I'm going to set up some questions for you, Dee, because I know these are popular questions that probably both of us get. But I want your take on these. Okay. So it's all
Okay.
supplements, all menopausal female. So what do you think of these products in terms of pricing for what is actually received from the supplement?
I'm going to say generally, again, based on the research I've done, based on products that, my athletes and clients have brought to me, I'm like, what is this thing?
Mhm.
I would say, generally speaking, Bob, there is a tendency to see a overpriced or higher priced compared to something comparable in formulation that has been around and not marketed the same way. I would say generally it's like you're paying more than what you're going to get
This is
per
really
serving.
interesting to me, Dee, because and we're gonna highlight a few products that you found that we're gonna talk about a little bit later towards the end. But I want to bring something up on that exact topic because I kind of feel as consumers sometimes we're getting the shaft, right? Literally. And because
Yeah.
I feel like let's just take creatine as an example, right? So creatine, we've talked about that. We've done episodes, we've had experts on, fantastic people who are talking about it. But if we look at creatine that is just marketed to the general population versus maybe creatine that is marketed to the menopausal female, let's just assume same dosage, same delivery system, right? I kind of feel like some companies are going to take advantage of this marketing opportunity
Yeah.
and say, oh, yes, for 3 or 5 grams of creatine, we're going to actually charge you 10, 20, 30% more because you are the menopausal female, right? I kind of feel like we're getting taken on that.
I think you nailed it there, Bob. And what they're doing in some cases is adjusting the dose. So it
Hmm.
might look like it's the
Interesting.
same price
Yep.
on the website or web page as the other company selling creatine monohydrate. However, then you dive a little deeper, Bob, and you're like half the dose of
Yep.
what another company offers. And then you're spot on the marketing copy that's used and some emotional cueing there, solving your energy woes and your bloats and your
Mhm.
brain fog and midlife is doom and gloom and you need this supplement to make you better. So it can get tricky there. And I'm not trying to make this statement applicable to all those companies out there, but it is along those lines to lure in the consumer.
Yeah, and in addition to that too, like I know we look at this for sports supplements too, but whenever we see proprietary blends, right? I'm going to cue
Oh,
you in a
yeah,
second. So, are you seeing a lot of proprietary blends in these menopausal supplements right now targeted to
for
menopausal
sure.
females?
I mean, I think that is another area of confusion. I'll be honest, Bob, when I was reflecting 20 years ago, when I saw that on, like, before I became a dietitian and I saw proprietary blend, I was like, whoa, these people know something I don't know.
Yes, yeah,
This is
totally.
special, like
Yep.
NASA, military grade, something.
Yeah.
They've got something special here. And I thought that was a cool thing. And now, geez, it's so important to know proprietary blend. Yeah, that actually should raise more of a red flag than like, woo, I'll buy that right now. So I
That's
am
it's so
seeing
true.
that more and more. But again, there are one or two companies that are trying to stand out and really be more along the lines we would want them to be. Get the certification process going, list detail for every single ingredient, and not have a proprietary blend where you're questioning how much of each thing is in this pill or powder.
I kind of
So,
feel like it's the Wizard of Oz kind of a thing, right? Where the wizard hides behind the big curtain or the big face kind of a thing. You know what
yeah,
I'm talking about? It's
yeah,
like that's what proprietary blends remind me of is you're hiding behind something that and you
yeah,
don't want to share, right? You
yeah.
don't want to come out. You don't want to say this is actually me or more importantly, this is what is in my supplement kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how about okay, so a lot of these also because there's a huge motion right now and just it's like unbelievably, I don't want to say important, let's just say popular herbs, right? I'm seeing herbs, I'm
Mm.
seeing rhodiola, ashwagandha, lion's mane, all these herbs pop up. Do our female listeners need to worry about these herbs at all when they're in these types of supplements?
Well, again, always thinking, what is it you're trying to make better for yourself. Okay, so identifying what your problems, your complaints, symptoms, and signs. Herbs and botanicals, I mean, that's been around for thousands
Hmm.
of years, right, Bob? Like from
Yep.
Eastern medicine and those sorts of approaches. So there is something to be said for using a plant compound to try and alleviate a symptom. It's just that then you start combining and the dose and the processing. How old is this leaf been in this
Hmm.
bottle? And then like efficacy for that person's safety concerns, contraindications if you're on medications or you have some other health issue. So that's where like I think there's a lot to be said for the power of herbals, botanicals, plant extracts, ashwagandha and the like. But again, looking first, like, is this safe and how much is in this product and really doing the research, which a lot of people don't want to do. They don't know how to do that research on their
Right.
own.
Right.
So that's really where you have to rely on your trusted health practitioner to sort that out for you and figure out. I don't think we should necessarily rule them out, but
No,
then
I'm
like, oh,
I'm
all the
very pro
disclaimers.
herbals for sure.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, to your points. Like again, I get that we don't want to take like 20 different pills or supplements for, but here's the thing. When you start putting them all in the cauldron and you kind of cook them up at the same time and then you take them and maybe they're working, you don't know what's working, right? So
Oh,
that's my
yeah.
thing. Maybe you have 10
Yeah.
different herbs in a supplement. You're like, "Oh, cool, I feel better," or you don't feel better.
Yeah.
Let's use both ends. What is it in there? And that's the problem that I have. Like I
Right.
would much rather have someone choose independent herbs, under the care of a health practitioner to see which ones work at the proper doses because there is some research on these independently but not together. Like that's my thing with a lot of greens powders these days, and we've talked about that before. Is like you throw 75 100 ingredients in here, we don't know what's doing what. We don't even know how
Yeah.
they're interacting with each other because no research has been done on them. So
Yeah.
that's my thing with the whole herbs. But I think it's really important with what you said also is if someone's on medications, herbs can have effects and different effects on different medications. So I think that's
Yeah.
super important to visit your healthcare practitioner, medical practitioner, if you are on medications and you're thinking about taking some of these quote unquote, I'll use the quotes, menopausal supplements, right? Because it
Yeah.
could be dangerous, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know there's that thought. I've had this thought too, Bob. Like, well, it looks okay.
Mm,
It doesn't look like it'll be harmful.
yes.
I mean, and I have the extra, whatever, $30 a month to spend
Yeah.
on this thing. Like, we'll just try it. I mean, that is $30 a month that maybe we divert to food and get so
Yeah.
much more powerful outcome from that. I have seen a few cases here recently where that supplement list was so long and the
Mm,
person was not feeling great. And it's like, where do you start with that? And
Yep.
how do you really know it's not causing harm? It just, we're not robots, so it's difficult to really
Yeah.
control all the variables.
And another thing that I look at is like the symptoms that we were talking about earlier. Like if you take a supplement and your symptoms are better, great, fantastic, right? But is it because of the supplement or did you change something else? And more
Yeah.
importantly, can we measure it? And we're both big on measuring and testing. Is like if you're taking this supplement proprietary ingredients, it has 10 different ingredients and it's for menopausal support, whatever, and you're like, yeah, I think it's working. But well, how do you really know? And is it working because you got better sleep? Is it working because you
Right.
changed your nutrition or exercise or started strength training? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm always big on like some supplements you can take and you can't measure their effects. You just can't. It's more
Hmm.
subjective, not objectively measure with blood test or urine or whatever. Some you can, right? But I'm just thinking like, wow, there's so many crazy supplements on the market, not only in this particular case with menopausal females, but with everyone that how do you know if it's actually working? Because there's also this thing called the placebo effect, right?
Yes.
I'm sure
Yes.
you've seen that with some of your clients is like, hey, I think it's working because you want it to work, right? You're believing it does. And I'm not going to
Yeah.
disregard the placebo effect. It's powerful. It can work beautifully, but I don't know if it's worth a lot of money, right? It's like the whole sugar pill kind of a thing, right? Is it really
Yes.
worth it? Or so I feel like we just need to have that factored into the mix, into the conversation is placebo effect, but also is there a way to measure the effects of taking some of these supplements? And I would say for some of them that I've actually seen, the answer is no. We just don't have that testing capacity
Yeah.
yet, right?
Agreed.
Okay. So
Yeah.
let me ask you, okay, so our listeners are like, okay, sounds good. Bob and Dina's giving me some good information, but I do like I saw the supplement. I'm really curious. Can you just give like a few things that our listeners can use to help them evaluate supplements? Like so if they're looking on the shelf or internet or whatever, then
Yeah.
it's just like a list of, okay, I need to make sure that I follow these steps that Dina told me about.
Well, one thing I've noticed is the claims that are made for how this might help you. It'll say something like clinically determined to relieve brain fog
Mm.
or evaluated and studies show relief of stomach bloat. They've tested this thing, and then there will be a little asterisk there. And I always think, oh, they're going to give the research
I
citation
know that's what I
so
think
that
too.
I can
And they
go look at
don't.
the study. And who's going to do that? Like if you're
I
at
know.
Target looking, you're
I
not going
know.
to like Google
Yeah.
that. But then that asterisk just says something like statements made are not regulated by
Yep.
FDA. I can't remember that exact
Yep.
phrasing. And there's no study citation. Or if there is, Bob, it's not a study that's in that exact context. It's like
Yeah.
way take pigeonholed, cherry picked, like it's not
Or
really.
on, animal models for that
Totally,
point. Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
Is there really scientific evidence? Is the quality of that evidence? Again, I appreciate, yeah, when you're at the store, you're probably not going to take the time, but maybe don't make that purchase quite yet.
Yep.
And then, as we were also talking, Bob, like this testing and certification, like how do we know what's in the bottle is really in there? And
Yeah.
what they're saying is so that third party testing, which again, a lot of these midlife framed supplements don't have any kind of third party testing.
Yeah.
So,
And I don't think our listeners understand how easy it is to actually make a supplement. It is super easy.
yeah,
Like if you have a little bit of money, you can easily, like you and I
yeah,
could easily create a supplement in probably 30 days. But
yeah,
it's not going to be tested. You know what I mean? That's kind of our point is like, really, let's dig a little bit deeper and look for those third-party certified testing supplements first.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't mean to be my own self being doom and gloom, but it's almost like if it sounds so magical
Yeah.
and dreamy, it probably
I
is
know.
magical
I
and
know.
dreamy, and it's not really going to help. But I don't mean to be, dismissing all supplements out there. It's just you and I see this all the time. People that are, and I appreciate too just testing out different things, but being careful with where we're divvying our cash out to these
Uh-huh.
supplement companies. And a lot of times we can do a lot with our own lifestyle habits, routines, our food choices and things. So, I mean, that's just like an old lady comment there like,
Yeah.
well, save your money. We let's do some other things first.
Yeah. But it is true. If you're taking everything we're saying in this episode, we're like, okay, you don't know if it's working or what's working. So, I mean, and I mean, obviously, both of us are biased. We should, in our minds, we should literally change nutrition and exercise lifestyle stressors first before supplements to get the foundation first, right? Then
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can start. Now, everything once you have it all set in probably for a couple months, so everything's stable with your foundation,
Uh-huh.
then you start exploring these different supplements based on your criteria for evaluating them, right?
Yeah.
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 Well, so can I put you on the spot real quick, Dee?
Okay.
So, with all of the work that you've done with females in this category, and even with yourself, have you noticed any, and not to say supplement names like company names, but
Mm-hmm.
supplement products or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
That have actually worked, maybe even ingredients or like what have you seen over the years that you're like, wow, actually this one I've seen, again, this is anecdotal, right? But I've seen good results when blank blank supplement has been taken. Can you even list any of those?
Yeah, I think one that comes to mind is the chasteberry
Hmm.
Vitex, kind of the name referred to it. This is for women maybe starting to experience night sweats, hot flush kind of deal, and not ready to pursue hormone therapy or
Hmm.
hormone replacement. Again, this plant herbal extract, got to be careful of brand and dose and etc. But I have seen that be effective for reducing number of those kinds of common symptoms. But again, that's not to say women shouldn't pursue hormone therapy or look at all the other things in lifestyle. But that is one that I have seen be a more natural, kind of effective symptom relief. If you had asked me 2 years ago, I might have said ashwagandha for just some of that mood instability and, some of the more mental health type benefit, but I haven't been advising that quite as much as I used to for various reasons.
Hmm.
It's one I think is still fairly safe, but again, there's different extract or the concentration and the
Yeah.
root versus, so might put that as a number two. But other than that, I don't think I've seen anything else that's like, this is it.
So it's interesting to me, Dee, and thank you for that. What's interesting to me is two things. One is that you only came up with really one, to be honest with you. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe one
Yeah.
and a half with ashwagandha. What's also
Uh-huh.
interesting is like, because I listen to other experts in this particular space and whatever podcast or and a lot of times the ending or the whole focus is, oh, we'll take these 5 or 10 supplements or whatever, and okay, but it just adds to the confusion, at least my confusion, right? But here's the other thing I think we need to remember, and I just want to add to the whole how do you evaluate a supplement? Um, Remember when there are experts out there, especially when they hold the MD next to their name,
Mm,
who will be recommending some of these supplements. Not all. So I am not putting every health practitioner, medical practitioner, even nutrition practitioner, such as ourselves, in this mix. Not all of us do this, but some do have a bias, right? They have a financial bias to this. So, and actually some of them actually make these supplements. So of course they're going to recommend them. Like there are some really well-known physicians out there who are recommending a lot of supplements in this category that I've heard. I'm sure you've heard it too. And because I do this, like I'll click on links and stuff, and you can kind of see in the link if it's like,
yeah.
what's going on, an affiliate link or something. And just I would just say it's not a bad thing. I mean, I appreciate everyone is in business trying to make their living and support their families and whatever, but you do need to take that with a grain of salt and really stand back and evaluate, is there bias here, or is there actual proof and support with that individual, right? And a lot of times, maybe I shouldn't say a lot of times, sometimes, these health practitioners will come out and say, I make this supplement, but I also, I recommend the supplement, but by the way, I also make it, or I have a vested interest in the company, or I'm an investor in the company. Like, so I think a lot more and more health practitioners are getting into that habit, which is great. They're actually, providing their bias publicly, which
Mm-hmm.
is fantastic. So I feel like at least that helps our listeners a little bit more, and us too, when we're trying to evaluate these things. But,
Yeah.
if you were like, oh, hey, I think everyone should be taking this, what is it called? Chasteberry again?
Yeah.
Chasteberry.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden next month on your website, there's a bottle of Chasteberry with,
Yeah.
with your logo and everything. And you know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah.
but again, I do appreciate everybody has to make a living. I also appreciate that
Mm-hmm.
we should be as transparent as possible. So I just wanted to
Yeah.
add that in there before we look at a few products that you picked out, right? I really appreciate you picking out these because I think there's some education here. And let me just tee this up. So we're going to talk about just a couple products here that Dina found online. And it's not to support or bash these. It's simply to provide you, the listener, education. So when you're looking at these things, reading a label or doing whatever you're doing, we want to talk you through a few things that go through our heads when we look at these types of supplements, right? Dee, start us out with the first one.
Well, one of the supplements is a fiber-based powder, and this company opted to do little gummies to
Mm.
deliver the fiber
Uh-huh.
versus like a powder or, something you'd mix in water or
Yep.
versus a capsule. So a couple gummies to get 5 grams of fiber on the label. Well, and the marketing copy is saying something like, do you have cravings or creeping weight gain? Bloating is common, especially in midlife. And so this particular 5 gram fiber supplement offers you, a zero sugar gummy to help support
Red flag.
those issues.
Sorry. We'll come back to the red
um,
flag on zero sugar.
I know. So, okay, cool. 5 grams fiber. I mean, okay, are we getting enough through food? I might wonder. But on the label, Bob, it lists this cool ingredient, green banana powder.
Totally. I'm on board with that.
I know. And
Yeah.
so then it gives the amount of this green banana powder, which is good. It's not a proprietary, like
Mhm.
hidden part. 1,000 milligrams.
So I'm
However,
thinking, okay, that's a gram of fiber. Okay. All right.
no, but it isn't.
Oh, what?
That that is the weight of that in so that's
Oh,
not a 1-to-1, meaning
interesting.
that green banana powder does not make up 1 gram of the 5 gram powder or
It just
5 grams of
weighs a
fiber.
gram. Yeah.
Yes,
Gotcha.
and then in the ingredient list, it provides us the other details. So there's actually 3 other fibers listed: tapioca fiber syrup, inulin, and pectin.
Mm.
And it doesn't tell us the contribution of each of those. So it's not a proprietary blend, but we just don't know which of what is happening in this supplement. In essence, what I'm trying to get to here, Bob, is that green banana powder amount, if you do other research here, that amount is like a drop of fiber or resistant starch that's
Mm.
contributing, and it's really not what you think it is.
That's really interesting, Dee. So there's a little like I kind of look at that. I'm like, okay, so cool. They're listing the ingredients. It's not proprietary. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
The whole zero sugar thing, I just said red flag because I'm like, I'm hoping they're not using something like a sucralose or a sugar alcohol. I don't know, but hopefully it's something like a monk fruit or stevia even, right? So who knows about? I don't know because I've not literally looked at the ingredients label of this, but um, okay, so we've got so green banana powder caught my attention because I'm like, cool, great prebiotic, green bananas,
Yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah.
But it's kind of it's not really a bait and switch, but it kind of seems like it is because you're kind of getting people in with the whole, oh, food, green banana. But
Yeah.
then they're looking at these things like tapioca fiber syrup. And tapioca will probably resonate with a lot of people, but then inulin and pectin, people are like, huh? So it's almost like a bait and switch, but not. It brings them in, but it's not really like the green banana powder is probably like what a sprinkle, like
Yeah.
sprinkle on a cupcake kind of a thing or whatever it is, right? So, but here's okay. That aside, I always look at supplements, any supplement, and I always ask the question, so what? Who cares, right? So
Hmm.
so what is the so
Yeah.
what is the who cares of this? Like, is providing 5 grams of fiber really important for a menopausal female in a supplement form? D. I'm literally
Right.
asking you, is that important?
I would look at what your daily fiber intake is from food. I mean, if we're aiming for at least 25 grams, I would say, of fiber per day,
Yeah.
this could be a significant contribution. Will you get much more other benefit from trying to get your fiber from foods? Heck yes. So, I mean, if you're starting to look at your own health journey and all this and
Mhm.
starting to become more health aware, maybe this is a starting point. But honestly, for the cost, Bob, you could buy
I,
like 4 apples or more or
yeah.
other foods to get like, oh wow,
Yeah.
we can do so much through food. So this is $1.83 per serving, which
Or gummy.
it's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of cash. And for effectiveness, I mean, if you wanted to use a fiber supplement, honestly, I would say to use a psyllium powder because that's kind of the gold standard for.
OMG, D. That's exactly what I do every single morning in my smoothie.
Yeah,
And
I
and
mean
it's
it.
one, it's less expensive. Two,
Oh,
it's I mean, why not? It is
that's like
literally yeah.
15 cents a serving or 20 cents a
Exactly.
serving
Yeah.
versus
Well,
this, which
and
is,
there are
yeah,
robust research on supporting cholesterol, like blood lipid levels, right?
yeah,
So that I feel like I see where this company's actually I see where a lot of companies are going, right? Because they're
uh-huh.
gummifying things now. So
Yeah,
everything is
yeah,
in
make it
gummies,
easy.
but a lot of times you can't fit everything in a gummy, right? So I feel like that's
Right.
kind of the workaround here is like, oh, that's probably why there's not a lot of this green banana powder in
Yeah,
there because the gummy
yeah.
has to be so big.
And just as a reference, so if anyone's heard about, okay, we should have more resistant starch in your
Mhm.
daily nutrition, the recommendation, and tell me if you know other amounts here, Bob, or have heard other reference ranges, but I think for goals, like you kind of want to have at least 5 or 10 grams of of resistant starch.
Yep.
This is providing 1 gram. So
1 gram.
it's not really doing everything
It's a
that
lot
it
of
might
gummies a
seem.
day. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Let's
So
move on to another one that we saw from the same company, right? And this is a creatine plus, they call it, right? And I'm going to read this to you, Dee, and
yeah.
you're going to commentate here in a second. This is what they tell us. Stay strong, sharp, and energized through midlife with gut-friendly creatine plus. Okay, I mean, you got my attention, but in my mind, I'm like, gut-friendly creatine. What? And yeah, creatine's creatine, right? But is there something here? Do you like what's the difference between this, which is targeted specifically to menopausal females, and just like a normal creatine targeted to everybody?
I mean, good question, Bob. They add a little bit of fiber here.
Yeah.
But there's nothing I don't know actually what's making it gut friendly.
I mean, is that
I
that
mean,
seems like a little bit of a marketing play here
it
on
is
words.
gummies again.
Oh,
So
gummifying again.
there's some gummy action
Huh.
happening. There
Interesting.
is some sweetness here. We've got 5 grams of added sugar, so maybe
5
taste.
grams of added sugar. What's the serving size for these? Is it 1 gummy?
So yeah, 3 gummies, and
Oh, interesting. Okay.
that's going to get you 3 grams
Okay, wait a second. So I'm going to
of
break out my
creatine.
calculator. So 1 gummy is 1 gram of creatine, right? Is that what you're saying?
I'd
Okay.
have to see if this has been quality tested.
Yeah, right.
Been a
So that's
lot of issues with
$1.33.
gummies.
So this is $40 for 30 servings. A serving is 3 gummies. So there should be 90
Yeah,
gummies in a bottle. I mean, it seems like taking a lot of gummies for just 3 grams of creatine,
yeah.
right? And the added
So
sugars, which I think everyone knows my take on added sugars, like you want to try to reduce those as much as you can, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's just a lot of additional added sugars throughout the day, I feel.
I mean, I'm just double checking the ingredients. I think where they're getting the gut friendly, there's something here listed, Bob, fennel seed extract.
Mm.
That's on the ingredient list. I don't know the basis behind that, but that might
You
be
know,
the thing that's unique for them.
that just kind of reminds me of like prebiotic sodas these days. Oh my gosh, how many times do I get a college athlete asking me about these, or anybody? What
Hmm.
about this prebiotic soda? And you're like,
Yeah,
I think we put that to rest, but I guess we haven't, right? There is not
yeah,
enough prebiotics in there to even begin to have a benefit. So I'm guessing just in gummies, I'm guessing the same is true, but I don't know this company and I don't know how much fennel seed
yeah,
extract they're putting in. So give them the benefit of the doubt. But again, as a consumer, you're like, oh, cool, fennel seed extract,
yeah,
cool, like gut friendly. Ooh, I can kind of get double kind of bang for my buck here, right?
yeah.
I don't know. I'm just seeing this and I'm like, there are better ways to help your gut and get creatine at the same time or at different
Hmm.
times. So that
Well,
this for me is kind of a hard pass. I
I
appreciate what they're
mean,
trying to do, but it's a hard pass.
well, especially with the added language of creatine plus is in a form made just for women. Uh,
Mm,
I mean,
okay.
I don't
What?
know that I was born needing to have gummies that have fennel seed, but okay.
So you're telling me that we have not heard this before, and we actually just talked to a very prominent creatine researcher a while ago. He didn't bring this up, that there's actually creatine that is made just for women. Like women have this specific pathway to absorb creatine, a
No,
certain or a different type of creatine. Sorry, I'm poking fun at this right now,
Yeah,
but
Dr. Scott did not mention that in
no, he
his,
didn't. Okay.
so
So
this is one
I'm
yeah, I wouldn't,
I'm kind of guessing that Dina would not be taking this personally.
no,
Okay. Okay.
no.
Okay. Are there any others that you want to bring up? I feel like we should just throw one more in the mix for kind of like we've talked about 3 on this podcast, on this episode.
Yeah, maybe we talk about one of the protein supplements
Oh, okay. Yeah.
that is interesting.
Yeah.
So, Bob, it's a combo, which this is
Hmm.
maybe compelling for some women. It's a
Mm-hmm.
combo of protein powder and creatine. I keep wanting to say creatine. Again, I'm on that weird pronunciation, tomato thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see the appeal, and it's not a proprietary blend.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just look a little closer at what's in this powder. So again, this is a different company here targeting midlife women and active women, and maybe those who are just looking for an easy way to boost their daily protein intake. So it contains 22 grams of protein from a whey concentrate.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll let you comment on that. And then
Oh, I will comment.
there's 3 grams of creatine added.
Okay.
And it's actually a certain trademarked creatine. So it's in one scoop, you get this combo. I mean, price wise, I'd say it's a little up there. It's $45 for 14 servings.
Yeah, that's three dollars and
Um,
21 cents a serving.
and I don't know if you looked at the actual web page there,
I
Bob, but
did. I'm actually
there's a
looking
couple
at it right
things that
now.
raise my eyeballs a bit
Ooh, like what?
in their, and this is just a minor detail, but in their marketing copy, Bob, on the webpage, it says each serving provides 2.5 grams of leucine,
Mm-hmm.
which is that amino acid we want to make sure we have, especially when we're looking around muscle protein synthesis and some of those things. But when I looked at this a little more carefully, for 22 grams of whey concentrate, I don't think you're quite getting 2.5 grams of leucine.
Mm-mm.
Um, I think it would be more maybe 2 grams of leucine, but
Mm,
okay, that I don't know how they're doing their
yeah.
detail there. But we could talk here a second on the whey concentrate. Like, what is this source and how would you gauge this compared to other protein
Yeah.
powders?
Well, luckily it comes from cows that are not treated with hormones, so they say that. Okay. I got it. I just here's my thing on if a product is 100% whey protein concentrate and not isolate, I am just thinking that they are profit driven. Okay. I'm not even going to apologize for saying that, but we know isolate is so much better for so many people from a reduced lactose perspective, but just a quality of whey protein. I'm just like these days, like if someone's going to put a blend in with isolate and concentrate, okay, so be it, got it.
Yeah.
But if you're going to go 100% all in on concentrate only, to me that just I'm just like, did you have any interaction with any nutrition or food scientist? Like maybe
Yeah.
not even food scientist, but a nutrition, RD kind of a thing, because that to me is just ridiculous. Like spend a couple extra cents, do isolate, make it better for most people who may even have a lactose, kind of an intolerance,
Yeah.
because we know whey protein isolate is a lot easier and a lot of times easier for them to consume versus a concentrate. So this
Yeah.
for me, I'm just like I just completely wiped this company off my desk just because of whey protein concentrate. I hate to say that, D. Like literally, I hate to because I'm like, listen, I see what they're trying to do here, but for goodness sake, step up to the plate and put some isolate in there.
I mean, it is a cheaper form. And
It
yeah, it's
is.
not, it has some fat, there's some lactose there. I mean, it's just not the
Yeah,
best quality.
it's
If we're going
not.
to spend money on a protein powder and you can
Exactly.
tolerate dairy protein, let's go for it.
Totally. Totally.
So yeah,
Now,
this is another one.
and interestingly enough, the maker of this is a physician, like, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
whenever, again, we talk about the whole, doctor, MD, like whatever, just be aware, listeners. That's all we're saying.
Yeah.
Like it can happen. It's not targeting doctors. It can happen with dietitians. It can happen with health coaches. It can happen with anyone, but you just have to, a lot of people say, oh, well, this was formulated by a doctor. Ooh, and all of a
Hmm.
sudden the credibility goes up. But
Yeah.
then we start looking at the ingredients and stuff, and in our mind at least, we're like, things could have been done differently.
Plus, Bob, I mean, even though earlier I was like, oh, it's kind of cool convenience wise to have it combined, but what if I need more protein
I
powder
was
or I
just gonna
need more
say, yeah,
creatine? I don't want to do the 3 gram dose. I want to do the 5
totally.
or the 10.
Yeah.
Now, what I need to buy my other creatine supplement. She happens to sell that too. But, anyways,
Hmm. Well, and I get that having a portfolio, but
yeah.
still, I'm
Anyway,
looking at the portfolio and I'm like, I don't know if a lot of these are just menopause, female specific. I'm not
yeah.
like it's kind of
Yeah.
preying on that, right? That's kind of how
Yeah.
I feel. But good point. I was going to bring up the same thing. What if I need more or less protein or more or less creatine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
and a lot of people do. Like I kind of feel like that 3 grams of creatine is kind of the minimal that we're recommending these days.
Yeah.
And what we're finding now, what we're seeing in research is certain organs in our body, i.e., the brain, might actually need more creatine. So, are you going to
Yes.
try to get 10 grams of creatine from this? And if so, then you're going to have 66 grams of protein, right? So it's like Okay, maybe we
Yeah.
do need to kind of separate these things.
Yeah.
And listeners, listen, we're not bashing these companies. What we're trying to do is be your eyes and ears, right? So
Yeah.
this is kind of behind the scenes what Dina and I do when we look at supplements and really look at the purpose, the quality, the efficacy, the safety, even the cost, right? And so I think there's a lot to be said about some of these out there are maybe I mean, I get it. I totally get jumping on the bandwagon here with these menopausal supplements, but I just kind of feel like the statement or the question I asked you, D, when I said, which ones do you recommend? And then which ones do you take probably? Because that list is so short, I'm going to kind of stick with the food and exercise and lifestyle first. Maybe I'm boring, maybe not, but females are listening to me right now and they're like, okay, fine, he's a guy, but we want to hear what Dina says. Like, what is Dina's last word on all this stuff?
Well, I agree. Lifestyle, nutrition, exercise. And then if you are suffering as a woman through perimenopause into your menopause years, I mean, get a really good on your team physician to talk with you about hormone therapy. That can do a lot for you to relieve your complaints. But there's so much more you can do with all the other things first or together. There's more than one way to do this. So I would be extremely cautious about these types of supplements.
And you've heard it here first.
Also,
Actually,
Bob,
yeah, go ahead.
well, I was going to say, I'd love to know for our listeners if you have been looking, or you saw that one supplement at
Yeah.
Walmart, Target, wherever you saw that thing and you're like tempted to buy it, but you weren't sure. We want to know what you're looking at or what you would like us to review, answer for you, and to drop a question over in our Patreon community. And let us know what's on your mind. And it can be any kind of supplement, to be honest. Doesn't have to be what we've been talking about today. But over on patreon.com/ISN podcast, drop us a question. And if you want some more personal interaction, you can opt to upgrade to one of our other tiers and also support the show.
Because we are not sponsored and we don't receive money. So we don't have bias, right? We just kind of
Yes.
talk about what we talk about and
Yeah.
kind of as you probably have noticed on this episode today. But yeah, I second that. Head on over to our Patreon community. It's so great just to interact with everyone. And you can send us an email also, but just Patreon is the easiest way because then we can get a lot of chatter and a lot of
Yeah.
communication going.
Sounds good, Bob. Well, this has been fun. I hope this was helpful for you, you awesome listener, and we can't wait to have you join us on the next episode.